You mentioned that not all companies need it. Well, looking at the beauty industry, which is why we are here today.
What I've seen, especially, is that hyper-personalization is really something important for beauty companies. From a place where the most important thing or the center was in the product, you developed a product, you created the marketing campaign, a global marketing campaign for the product, and you tried to sell it to everyone. But now we have the chance to do the other way around. We have the chance to create unique products or different products for each customer. Sometimes they can even define how they want the product. The messages that you use to sell those products to them are different because you can know something about the user. You can know what they are interested in or the context where they are researching information about your product. Or sometimes, you said that before, you can even have the chance to see how they respond to this kind of actions. So this personalization is something that can be leveraged to improve the commercial side of beauty products.
Welcome to a new season of Provitalks, where innovation and purpose guide our conversations beyond beauty. Join us as we explore new ideas with inspiring voices from within and beyond the industry, because imagining what's ahead is the beauty of the future.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a new season of Provitalks. Last season, we took you behind the scenes of the beauty industry, and we talked about the sourcing of an ingredient until the product is developed and it is commercialized in the different markets. Now we are looking ahead. Between Eloi Armengol and myself again, Clara Vigo, we will be talking to investors, to beauty creators, to founders, and to very creative minds, not just from the beauty industry, to see what is shaping what will come next. Because, well, the beauty of the future is not just about product creation, but about everything that makes the future feel exciting. So let's dive in.
Okay, let's go. Well, thank you, Clara, for the introduction. And well, today we are thrilled to have with us Frankie Carrero, our first guest of the new season. And well, Frankie is a AI specialist with a lot of experience in this field, and who is gonna talk with us in some how to understand better this AI new trend worldwide, and especially focusing on the beauty industry, right?
Yeah.
Well, welcome to Provitalks, Frankie. Thank you very much for joining us. I think that the best to start would be if yourself could explain a little bit about you, about your professional background, and of course, your new company, AI Hackers.
Okay, great. First of all, thank you very much for having me here today, Clara and Eloi. And also thank you very much to Provital, also for hosting this kind of podcast, which I think that it can bring to all the people what you guys are doing on beauty. I think that it's a world that is not really well known. And maybe sometimes we have some misconceptions. I think it's good to understand that.
Yeah, that's true.
So, well, thank you. Thank you very much. I have we could say that I have a hybrid profile.
Okay.
I come from a technical background. I'm a computer scientist. But I've been a developer, a researcher at the university, a professor as well. I have my own company for 10 years where we were applying artificial intelligence to e-commerce websites, mostly for personalization and recommendations and this sort of things that, well, we all know because we use Netflix, Amazon, and all these places where they recommend movies or products or whatever. But with this, starting from this technical background, I had to lead my company from the business perspective. So it made me change my mind. So right now, I don't really know what I am. So I know that I'm like the intersection between innovation, I think, technology, and also business. And I try to bring artificial intelligence to all of that. In my career, I've been I would say mainly, but different places. I have my own company, like I said. I was a researcher, but I also worked at Sarah.com for a year and a half. I've been at a big consultancy company in Spain, managing all the data and artificial intelligence area. So I've done many different things. Like 8-9 months ago, we started up a new company called Hackers. I'm the CEO right now. And what we try to do there is we try to bring artificial intelligence to companies that know that need to apply, but they are not mature enough. So we help them to evaluate the current situation, define a strategy and a roadmap of projects, and we help them to develop all those projects. But we are trying to helping them to become an AI first company.
Okay. Well, it's true that now that you mention it, there are a lot of companies and a lot of people that nowadays AI is very popular and everyone wants to jump in and do things with AI. But in your case, when was it that you really understood AI and you started to work with it?
When I was finishing my degree, I was studying computer science. At some point, we had to choose between robotics and artificial intelligence. And what I thought is, I want to study robotics because I know that it's going to be difficult to learn it myself after we finish. And I did that, but my final work at the university was something related to artificial intelligence. So at that point is when I really started, and then I've been working on that for 25 years now.
Wow.
So it's been a long way.
A lot of experience in the field for sure.
Yeah. And you understand artificial intelligence from very different points of view. Let's say you have a very technological background, but you're also helping businesses build growth through AI. So before going forward, please explain to us and to the audience here, so for mortals, in normal words, what is artificial intelligence?
It's really difficult to give a definition. If you talk to many different people, you will see that it's and everyone have some different aspects that make it different. But anyway, I will try to do my best. So please, if someone is watching us right now and they know or they have a definition, don't take it too seriously. But I would say to make it simple, that is a set of technologies that can automate some tasks in a similar way that humans do. So it can help us like predict events, and something that we do. It can create, it can create texts, images, and we've seen it with Generative AI, and it can help us make better decisions. So it's like a version of us doing something similar to us, but sometimes in a different way and much faster.
Okay, you talked about generative AI. What's the difference between other AIs or classic AI? I don't know how you call it, but I've heard this word many times, but I don't know exactly what it means.
Yeah, sure. Well, in essence, artificial intelligence, all kinds of artificial intelligence come from the same point. We could say that nowadays, most of it is based on neural networks, but classic artificial intelligence uses some other algorithms, not only neural networks, but many different algorithms, especially to predict events, to classify also. So we can use it to, for instance, to try to predict the demand of supplies that we need, or maybe to forecast what our buyers, our customers are going to buy from us. We can also classify people using artificial intelligence and maybe apply some marketing actions differently to all of them. But the generative AI, what it does is something totally different. It creates, it doesn't predict, it creates contents, images, video, audio, text, of course. But the base algorithms are really similar in the sense that they also use neural networks. And the truth, and sometimes people get surprised at this, the truth is that what it does is like predict it predicts the next word. For instance, when you use ChatGPT, it's predicting the next best word, or most appropriate word for the text you're generating. Images work in a different way, but also is similar. So it's not really a technical point of view that makes the difference, but maybe the applications. And also the generative AI is really young. It has in the market, it's not three years yet, because ChatGPT was launched like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Before that, we were using Midjourney, DALL-E to generate images, and maybe it was 3-4 years ago, but it's really, really new. So it's mostly a use case point of view when we make this difference.
It's true that, well, nowadays, this new AI that we are now more used to use it's something very new. But even just in the last 2 years, the evolution that these different platforms and different apps or different tools that we can use nowadays, it has had an amazing evolution, and not even every week there's something different or some improvement. Do you think that this is also applied at in a global perspective in the industry? Do you see that this is already having a real impact in industries nowadays?
Definitely. I've told you before that I've been working on artificial intelligence for more than 25 years. When I started with that, it was really difficult to apply anything to the market, to the real companies, and we started to do that like 13, 14 years ago in 2010, 2011. There were some developments, some improvements in some techniques, mostly deep learning. We haven't mentioned that, but it's some way of neural network that makes it more advanced. And the main cause was because we didn't have the computational capacity that we have nowadays.
Okay.
So that was the moment when everything changed, and then companies started to develop some predictive models for many use cases that we can talk about. But they started developing these predictive models, and then 2.5 years ago, when ChatGPT was launched, everything began to resonate mostly with C-level actors, CEOs, COOs, CIOs, whatever. And that moment, well, was something is, I have to say, it was difficult because at some point everyone wanted to do something with artificial intelligence because it was a hype. It was like fashion. But they didn't know what to do at that moment. But now, with some time, they have begun to create some good solution, to develop some good use cases, to move them to production. I will talk about that then after, because it's really important. So pretty much all the industries that hadn't been so affected by artificial intelligence have evolved, like you said before.
Yes.
But anyways, I was reading a report last week about investment on classic artificial intelligence versus generative artificial intelligence last year in the United States, and generative is still 14%.
Okay.
So difference is really high. It's beginning to grow, but it still has a long way to become something similar. But now every company knows that they want to be on artificial intelligence. They are acquiring tools to help them become AI first companies, and we'll talk about that later as well. So pretty much I think that medium to big companies, they are doing that. Small companies, well, they need some.
It's more difficult
Yeah.
for them, probably. So you mentioned AI first companies. What is this concept related to?
Yeah, it's a really important concept because it's a change of mindset. I've been working with companies for a long time, and most of the times, the way that they bring artificial intelligence to the company is they start to create and develop some POC, some proof of concepts, small projects. Sometimes they don't get to production. Sometimes they don't know what to do with those projects, and then it becomes something messy. People sometimes abandon this kind of projects, so it stops being a priority for these companies. And what I've seen is that they need to change their mind. I don't think of artificial intelligence as a patch, but as a new frame. They have to reframe the company. They have to think that processes have to adapt to artificial intelligence, for instance. And processes are not just background processes. It can be a marketing process as well, or sales process, whatever. You need to think in terms of how can I use artificial intelligence to improve what I'm doing, or even reframe what I'm doing. And that was what leads you to become an AI first company. You need to transform from a classical, sometimes digital company. Sometimes they are not digital, because they're still on this transformation process. But you need to move from that mindset to the new mindset, which is I have to put artificial intelligence in the center of the processes, and it will help me more than that. And there is also another concept, which is AI native, and you can only be that if you are a new company and you have artificial
since the beginning.
Yeah, from the very beginning. Sure.
Yeah, that's true. And nowadays, we've seen a lot of new companies, especially small startups with services, right?
Yeah.
And just developing some services using just AI. And well, I think
it's easier. It's easier than
it's just
transformation.
it's very easy to say, but for us, I think as a very old, I would say almost 50 years industrial company, to have this mindset, for us, it's quite difficult, but well, we have to work on it, right?
Yeah, I understand totally. What I mean is, it's easier to be an AI native company because you're starting from the very beginning, and if you have the mindset and the little bit,
And now you have the tools available.
yeah,
Even with a small investment, you can already launch something.
yeah. But the transition from classic company to an AI first company, it's a lot.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
will take some time, but
Yeah. For now, we are AI users. We're not yet value creators.
well, we are already starting to work in some projects to try to bring more to the company, but it will take time for sure.
But this you have said right now, that this difference between AI users and AI value creators is really, really important, because using tools that have been built using artificial intelligence is one thing. You're a user of a tool that uses artificial intelligence, but developing your own tools is what makes you a value creator, an AI value creator, and it helps you. Not every company that's that. We need to keep that in mind. But when you have processes that are unique to you, when you have your own data and you need to train the models, you need to develop the applications using your models, then you need something that needs to be built for yourself, and you are then a value creator. So yeah, it's and both things can live in the same company. For some things, you will be a user. Some things you will use a tool.
You cannot build everything for you.
Yeah, from scratch. It makes no sense, of course. And sometimes you need to do it yourself.
You mentioned that not all companies need it. Well, looking at the beauty industry, which is why we are here today, it's an industry, as you know, that it's driven by fast-moving trends, driven by emotions a lot, but also driven by science. How do you think that AI could integrate this industry into business and new commercial opportunities?
Well, if we speak about commercial opportunities, what I've seen, especially, is that hyper-personalization is really something important for beauty companies. I mean, you can correct me because you know more about the business that I do, but we come from a place where the most important thing or the center was in the product. You developed a product, you created the marketing campaign, a global marketing campaign for the product, and you tried to sell it to everyone. But now we have the chance to do the other way around. We have the chance to create unique products or different products for each customer. Sometimes they can even define how they want the product. The messages that you use to sell those products to them are different, because you can know something about the user. You can know what they're interested in, or the context where they are researching information about your product. So this personalization is something that can be leveraged to improve the commercial side of beauty products.
And what about e-commerce? Because we know that you've had some experiences. Do you have any example here that you can tell us of a project for
On e-commerce.
on e-commerce for
For the
the
IT
industry?
teams, because part of our audience are some of
Yeah.
our customers, and they are the ones that put the final product into the market, and they go directly to the final consumer.
Yeah, well, the first thing that I have to that I can share is about personalization as well.
Yeah.
If you go, I would say mostly all of the current e-commerce websites for beauty products, they apply personalization. You will see recommendations to upsell, cross-sell. They are beginning to implement also some techniques to use generative AI. And for instance, they are creating like virtual agents, so we can say chatbots, well, where you can talk with this virtual agent and ask about composition, the best characteristics where they work better, the kind of skin, or you can just phrase your problem. I have a dry skin and I need something, and then these agents can use all the knowledge that they have from your company or from their company and answer you as if they were a person. So it's well, if we were talking about personalization, this is something that can be done. But also, they are creating videos from scratch, sometimes from an image, or sometimes from nothing. Even just putting the product and creating videos where you can see the product in action in different contexts,
Yeah.
and also create images from scratch using different models or just using the same model in different contexts. So it's like now they can do some things, some actions faster than before with the same or even better results sometimes. And the time to market has gone much shorter than it was.
That's true. You can save a lot of time and even a lot of resources with this kind of tools.
And they're also using that for reclamations. You know, when someone is not really happy with the product, and when they come to you because they have a doubt or a concern or whatever, you can also automate, maybe not 100% of the conversation, but for most of the conversations, in most cases they are really simple, so you can automate them, and you can just you can interact with your human agents and the customers only in those cases where you need to be more sensitive and try to understand better what's happened and give a better answer.
Yeah, I actually recently had some experience in this matter. I think it was with with an airline company or something. I was trying I needed some information regarding my flight, and they had this chatbot style, and I wasn't able to get the answer. And I was telling them, I need more information. And at the end, they stopped using the chatbot, and a real agent came in place, and then I was able to finish the consultation properly. But that's the first one was a chatbot. Yeah,
They were not probably using good AI.
No, but that's perfectly fair. And when I talk to my customers, I always tell them that we are not getting rid of humans. We are just trying to automate those cases where
you can do it.
you don't need them, and we're trying to give the humans our employees, we can say, the possibility to try to treat better the customers, to give them a better service, and that's something important. I think it's true that maybe most of us are having this sense that artificial intelligence is going to automate everything and that we will be no longer needed.
Yes, everyone's their job.
I don't know. Will be the end of the world. I think
We've heard that before.
Sure, but what I think, my point of view is that artificial intelligence can augment our capabilities, can help us to make a better job, whatever it is that we do, and it makes us better professionals.
Yeah, so the tool at the end is a tool that will help you to do your job better, faster.
Yeah, there's a term that is used in artificial intelligence, which is human in the loop. So we still need humans in the process. We are not going to automate the whole process.
Yes.
I don't know what will happen in 50 years, 100 years, But right now, I would say in the next couple of decades, I don't see it happening.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Okay, now going back to beauty products, you were talking about personalization, but what about, for example, the product innovation regarding the development of the product itself? Since maybe we got talking about the formulation, the claims, regulatory issues. Is this something that AI can also step in?
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening now. AI is helping to define the composition of the products, and in skincare, I've seen some examples where they are like testing different combinations using artificial intelligence and predicting the result of these compositions and these formulas. And that's something really good because, first of all, it takes much less time than other processes. You don't need to experiment with humans so much, or even with animals. And that's something that is also sustainable, we can say. And that's one of the concerns that we all have nowadays. This is part of the process, the research and the product creation that we were talking about first. Then we have these tests, and then as I was saying, you don't need to use is not the best word here, but use people, use animals. You can do it in a different way, more sustainable, and the results are even better sometimes. So there are beauty companies are doing it right now. And there's also what you said before. You can also evaluate microexpressions, for instance, of the consumers, and see how they respond to the new formula. Maybe a new smell, or maybe the serum is it's fresher than before. I don't know, because I don't know so much about that. But maybe there will be some things that can improve the product, and you can see how people respond to that easily and almost instantly. So I think it's really good. It's really good news for beauty products.
This case that you remember that we were talking before before starting to record.
Our experience in it.
Yeah, it's from our experience with the product Wonderate. And there, thanks to AI, we were able to have new claims. It's not even a simpler or a more optimized way to get the claims, the efficacy claims. We got new claims because thanks to the micro expressions that the computers were able to analyze, we could see the subconscious response to our product. So that was big, and that in cosmetics, as we said, it's something very emotionally driven. So really got us to a claim that was amazing, which is that the response to our product was also subconscious in the happiness of the volunteers. So
yeah, and applying artificial intelligence to images or to videos. It's also something that can be used for many other things. And for instance, I was thinking about another company that is analyzing images and then getting 14, 15 different characteristics of the skin. And then they know which is the best product for that skin. If you're dry or you have...
yeah, I've seen some that if you take a selfie, then the app itself, it will detect what you lack of or what products do you need.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, and there are others that are helping users to define the product that they want. For instance, I've seen it with perfumes. They use artificial intelligence to understand what the user wants, and then sometimes they just choose the best perfume for them. Sometimes they can create a good perfume for them, combining like different elements. I don't know what kind of elements, but combining something different, and at least allegedly, they say that the result is really unique and the best one for its user. So it's like we have a huge field of possibilities where we can, we only need some this creative imagination that you said before.
Yeah. And for the standards of these claims that we're said that we are able to optimize the standards of claims that we get. We have another example from Provital, which is Theostem.
Yes, correct.
For Theostem, what we did is we used AI to get, let's say, an optimized claim on anti-aging. So basically what we do in instrumental analysis is we get one parameter, we study that parameter, and we get a result on our product applied after X days on volunteers. But this time, thanks to this AI technology that we used, we were able to analyze all the parameters that the human eye is able to catch, because we were analyzing images, the whole image, and how the face was changing on volunteers with a machine that was trained before by I don't know how many images of people. More than 200,000 images from people from 17 to 70 years old. So the machine learned what aging looked like, and then they would say, okay, your product is making people rejuvenate 3 years on their apparent age. So that was huge for us, at least for the beauty industry.
That was at least 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And it's a good thing, because sometimes we see when we evaluate all the artificial intelligence projects, sometimes we see that these data sets, in this case, sets of images, are really biased to some kind of user, and they leave out the rest of the users. And for instance, it happens a lot with very young people, elder people, sometimes different skin tones.
Yeah.
But I guess that we have so many images that we've been able to get a good sense of each different person. It's a fair way to do artificial intelligence that is not always done like that.
Fair way. I like that. It's true.
So what could we expect for the near future regarding new developments of the AI world?
In general,
In general?
In general, and obviously if you
can
think of something related to the beauty industry.
Sure. Well, it's really interesting. Like you said before, the evolution right now is really fast. Every week we have something new or something better than what we had the previous week. We have some different AI creators. We could say like OpenAI, Anthropic. We have Meta. We have, of course, Microsoft. Google. Many big companies doing artificial intelligence, but also some other not so well-known companies that are doing a lot of things. So for me, it's really difficult to catch up with everything that is created every day.
It's almost impossible. I mean,
it's at least for me, it's impossible. But the good thing here is that we are having a lot of new use cases, new applications, and new tools that we can say that democratize the use of artificial intelligence that we've been doing so far. So right now, I would say that the sky is the limit. The thing is that we don't know how long it will be to get near that limit. We will get to that at some point, I guess, but we don't know when. And it could happen because of our computational costs or capacities, like it happened in the past, or maybe quantum computing will come and will again do things. Boost things. I would say will change everything again and really fast again, and then we'll see what happens.
I have a question here. What's quantum computing?
Okay,
what are we talking about here?
Sorry. Well, quantum computing is I won't get really technical here. First, because I'm not so experienced on that, but because I don't think it's the best place for this. But it's using quantum technology to create computers, and it's something that has been researched for a long time now, decades. But we are beginning to get to a point where they will be a reality. Now we are near there, but quantum computers are not so fast as they are expected, and when we get to that point, it's like we will be able to solve problems that right now are not solvable, or maybe sometimes a problem that would need nowadays like 100 years to be solved. We could do it in seconds or minutes, so you can understand how everything will change with that. And then at that point, we will have the chance to create some new cases, or maybe create some new technologies, some new algorithms that will boost, again, everything that we are doing. But so it will be in the future. I don't know when. But right now, with the things that we are doing, generative AI is going to help us every time more to be better professionals. We need humans, like I said before. We will need humans in the future, and all the applications that need like an ad hoc development right now, also for every company, will become tools. So we will see a lot of vertical tools for different sectors, different company sizes, different applications, B2B, B2C. Everything will have like vertical tools, and we will have the chance to choose them. So again, like they like to say, we will democratize even more the use of artificial intelligence. But what I really enjoy with this is that we will be able to have better applications to become, well, but maybe to cure some diseases that we are not curing right now, like cancer or some other things. And because artificial intelligence is also helping not only, for instance, detect illness on a screen,
Yes.
also develop some new compounds, identifying, maybe predicting if you are going to suffer from a disease or whatever. So in terms of health, not only beauty is important, health is even more important. It's something we need to say. So it will have an impact not only on business, and society, but also on health. So there are many things that will improve along the way. Maybe we will live longer. I don't know if we can afford that on the planet, but we will live longer, definitely. And well, just think about a company, think about an example, just tell it to me and I will try to figure out. It's so many things.
Okay. And is there something that is emerging right now? Because we're talking about a long-term future here, but short-term future, what can you tell us that is coming up?
Definitely intelligent agents.
What are they?
Yeah. It's like the evolution of the generative AI.
Yeah.
With generative AI, what you have, we could say, is some sort of a brain. It's not really a brain. It doesn't really understand what it's doing. It just predicts, but it works almost like a human. At least the look from outside this black box, we perceive it something similar as a human, but it's really limited in the kind of and the complexity of the tasks that it can address. If you ask for something very specific, ChatGPT, Cloud, all these tools will give you a very good answer right now. Sometimes even better than we would do. But if the task is complex, then it has to be split out in different steps. Each step has to be solved independently, and then you have to combine everything to come up with the solution to this complex problem. And that's something that the agents can do. They can try to understand is not the correct word right now here, but they can try to understand the problem, divide it in different steps, make the best decision on each case as to how can I solve each independent problem, and then combine everything. It was a dream until 1-2 years ago. Now everyone knows that it's the future, and a lot of companies, we are doing that as well, are beginning to develop these agents. And yeah, they're beginning to pay off. Yeah, they have good results.
It's like they go a step further, right? After prediction, they also provide more.
They can plan the actions, and it's something that we couldn't do. Or it's been one of the most complex problems in artificial intelligence has been planning, always. And plan like a human is something that wasn't possible. Now we can. With LLMs, with generative AI, if you ask ChatGPT, how would you solve, step by step, how would you solve this problem? It will solve it. It will give you the steps. But then, like I said before, each step is again, can be a complex problem. So you have a tree of problems where you decompose each of them in the smaller problems, and then you need to recombine. And that's something really complex, even for us. something. But you can just send an agent, and sometimes in 20, 30 minutes, it can give you an answer. Not perfect. Again, we need to test the result. We need to verify. We need to see if it has hallucinations.
That can happen. We have some
A lot, yeah, or maybe not a lot, but maybe it happens at 5 or 10% of the time. But it's enough.
well, there's a risk. There's a risk.
Yeah, like with persons. If you give someone a task, sometimes we will fail. It happens. Maybe the reasons why we fail, compared to the reason why ChatGPT fails are different. But the thing is that everyone fails. So it can happen anyway. But we can solve more complex problems right now. And that's what intelligent agents is bringing us.
Wow.
Okay. I'm guessing these agents will help to develop that verticality, those vertical tools that you were mentioning, right? Because it's able to differently analyze and then combine. And then, wow.
Yeah, they are specializing right now because having a general, and that's something that we always pursue in artificial intelligence. We want to have like a definitive, global, generic, whatever word that you want here, solution to all the problems in the world. It's like physics scientists have tried to find the equations that represent or define the behavior of the world.
Yeah.
We haven't been able so far. And with artificial intelligence, it happens the same. We, as humans, have to specialize, and artificial intelligence has to be specialized right now.
Going back to gather it all, what you've been saying, what could you tell us, like 3 takeaways for industry stakeholders here, to how to successfully navigate AI in the beauty industry?
Well, yeah, sure. First of all, I think I've said it before, AI is not a patch. It's a new mindset that you need. So you cannot pretend just to grab a block of something and just stick it on your processes, and it will solve everything that you have. You need to reframe your projects. You need to redefine. You need to think. Maybe sometimes you don't need to change anything, but you need to analyze it. And that's something interesting because not many companies are doing right now. They are just using artificial intelligence because it's mainstream.
Mhm.
They don't know why sometimes. Or sometimes they have the use cases, but they don't really analyze. Also, I think the companies, and it's related to this, companies need to evaluate their maturity state, we can say. They need to analyze if they have the people to develop these projects, if they have the data, if they have the use cases, if they have the budget as well. And there are a lot of questions that you can ask, you analyze, and then you come up with a plan to see if I need to hire people, I need to get more money for this, or maybe next year's budget, for instance, or if I really have the problems or the opportunities, because AI not only solves problems, it also leverages opportunities, business opportunities that you have in your company. So this step is also important to try to get to know your company first. And then for me, the third takeaway is you will probably won't know how to do things if you're starting right now. So I would say just use a third company, but create a team at least, and try to keep the knowledge inside your company.
Okay.
Because if you use a third party, what I've seen sometimes is that if the company goes for whatever reason, you lose all this knowledge. You lose the processes, the knowledge about the processes that have allowed you to create these use cases, the solutions. So you need to have your own team, like in charge or learning from the other company. So it's a process, it's a complex process, but it's the steps are well defined. So I would say that it's mostly common sense.
Well, I would think it would be very interesting if you could give us some real use cases examples on different industries that that's something that can be applied nowadays, or even some projects that you have worked on, so the audience can understand a little bit more with real cases examples.
Yeah, I'll try to come up with some really different projects. For instance, the first one that comes to my mind is demand prediction. I think I've mentioned that before. But we have the case of a company that, well, they sell magazines.
Okay.
So what happens with this kind of products is that they send the products to the stores, the kiosks, and the the remaining magazines are sent back to this company. So for them, it's important to try to predict how many units are going to be sold on each store. So we are helping them to do that, and we are helping them in this case to save money, of course. And it can happen in both ways. Sometimes they will send many more than they need and the store needs. So they're losing money because they are being sent back. So the ideal situation would be to have just one unit back for each and every of the stores.
Of course.
Yeah, that would be the best situation, the best possible situation. We are also developing intelligent, call it chatbot or virtual assistant, whatever, for e-commerce websites. This case, I will talk to you about a travel agency.
Okay.
And what they needed was a chatbot that could understand the preferences of the customers in terms of geographies, activities that they want to do on a trip, understand the members of the family, if they are younger or older, if they want to, if they like to go to the beach, to the mountains, safari, whatever the budget they have, and then combine everything and offer a trip, a package trip.
Wow.
And this is done through a conversation. You don't need just to push a button and then write something or whatever. It's a natural conversation. So it's really easy for the customer, and we can come up with all the information that we need to deliver this offer to them. So it's also something that works really, really well. We are also helping some sales areas, some sales departments of companies to, first of all, it's something curious. Depending on the profile of the customer and the profile of the agent, the best thing you can do is trying to find a match, because some agents speak better, I don't know, to women or to men or to young people or elder people or people from some geographical area in Spain or another different. So we are applying artificial intelligence for this.
To match
both of them. And also to generate the scripts that they are going to use with the customer, given the information that we have on the customer. So again, it's very useful for the agents, and we're trying to maximize the results. And we are also helping some companies with these first steps that I told before, with some assessment of their maturity, the experience that they have, the steps that they need to take, the roadmap. And after that, if they want to develop the projects, then it's good. But this is a use case, a really important use case, given what I've told before, because if you don't do that properly, you have nothing.
Yeah,
you have a lot of ideas on your head, but you don't know exactly if they're the good ideas. And we haven't talked about this, but it's really important, the way you measure the results. And for that, you need to define first your goals, your objectives. Then you have to set the KPIs you're going to use to measure them. You're listening to that and you say, obvious. But
reality is very different. You're totally right. It's like what we say, that when you start building the house from the roof, right? That sometimes you go to do it very fast and you go straight to the problem, but there is some work to do previously that it's very important.
Yeah, if you're going to build a house, how many rooms do you need? Are you going to, for instance, are your children going to share rooms? So rooms have to be big, or it's of the
Yeah, you have to plan everything.
So there's a lot of planning there, and also in this case, as I was saying, you need to measure. Is this project, for instance, this agent to help people get the best travel pack? How can you measure if that is the best or not? You can measure if the conversion has increased. For instance, if they are using more the virtual assistant, if they spend more time on your website, if there are many different.
There are many ways.
Yeah, so you need to define them at the very beginning, and then the project needs to be aligned with them every step of the way. Yeah. I think I've told you several cases, but if you want,
No, it's perfect. I think now it's easier for us to imagine the different capabilities of real world projects that can be done using AI, right?
yeah, and for me, it's important that every single process you have in your company can be improved with artificial intelligence. Background processes, marketing, sales, human resources, whatever. There will be always something that you can do. For instance, just the last thing in human resources, it's just something maybe that if we think of an application of artificial intelligence in human resources, I don't know you, but maybe the first thing that comes to your mind is filtering CVs, resumes.
The first
step. Yeah, and it works, but there are some other applications that are even better than that. For instance, the onboarding process. The onboarding process for a new employee is complex because sometimes a lot of people has to be involved with a lot of meetings, and the new employee has to call because they don't know how to do something, or with an automatized onboarding process, they have the chance to be more independent and then come to you only when they need. So you're saving time, and even the new employees is feeling better because they don't need to bother. Even if it's not bothering, you feel that when you're new to a company. You don't need to bother some other person.
The first week or the first 2 weeks it can be difficult, of course.
So again, it's just a matter of identifying what can be improved with artificial intelligence, and then be creative, like I said before.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. We don't have any more questions right now, but we have more for later for sure, because we have learned a lot, and you have opened our mind into how to see the AI and the different possibilities. And I'm sure that later we will keep discussing on maybe how we can try to navigate through this world as well.
How we can implement that AI mindset.
Exactly.
It's really not think of it as a patch, for sure.
But before finishing, we have our last section. It's the final question section.
Yeah.
In this new season, we are going to do it again because we really like it. And we have added new questions, right?
Yes.
So, okay, let's start. The first question would be, what is the latest cosmetic product that you have purchased?
Yeah, no, I have to say I'm not a really active consumer of this kind of products. I don't know why. I just maybe because I don't have too many skin problems or whatever. But the truth is, I have a dry skin, especially around the nose and the eyebrows. And I don't remember the name, but I've been using one that is helping me with that. Otherwise, I'm ashamed of that. Maybe I should use.
Yeah. Well, the next question would be, what do you look for when you're purchasing a cosmetic product? But I'm guessing.
Well, no, yeah, I have something about this. I need to understand what it's about.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to understand how it can help me. Maybe the ingredients it has, the side effects it can have, or whatever. So sometimes it's not really clear, at least for me. If I read the composition, I don't understand anything. So maybe
Well, you have to go for the claims, and
We can teach you a little bit. About that. Of course, in terms of ingredients, of course.
we are experts on that. Now, next question is, for you to complete the sentence, and is what the best part about the beauty industry is?
Despite the fact that there's a lot of marketing behind that, sometimes you don't know, like I said before, if it really works,
Yeah.
it really works. At least what I've used, it really works for me, and it took me a long time to find the perfect product
Yes.
for that. So yeah, I would say that it's a good point.
Okay.
So I was going to ask what is the worst about the beauty industry, but I'm guessing the despite part was
Yeah,
worst.
you're right. Sometimes I'm not sure if products work because of all this marketing. It's something that sometimes it's for me at least it's unbelievable. You're gonna get younger because you use this cream or this serum, or maybe it's true, but I'm not sure.
No, it's sure that you have to learn how to read claims and to understand them and to see because it's not as easy as a consumer that doesn't know a thing.
Not for me.
For sure.
And I have to say that consistency is key here. I mean, if you use it once or twice, nothing is going to happen. But if you are consistent using it once or twice a day for 8 weeks, then is when you really see.
Yeah.
But it's true. We are not patient with this kind of things. Well, sometimes you are taking some medicines and you stop the treatment because you feel better. So with these beauty products, why won't you do that?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, don't do that. Antibiotic resistance is a thing.
Yeah, sure.
No, so don't worry. So one of the questions that we had was, well, okay, this season's name is The Beauty of the Future. So what do you think is important to achieve a beautiful future in general? And I'm speaking about the whole world, and how do you see the future, this world?
Well, first of all, I think that sustainability is one of the words that comes to our mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In many different aspects, even in beauty, innovation. Well, if we want to solve old problems and also new problems, and if we want to teach the world some sense, I think that we need to innovate better than we are doing right now. And well, I think that maybe a better collaboration between everyone, governments, companies, maybe a group work, teamwork, even like global teamwork. That's something that we don't do really, really well, and we can see on every television program, or you just listen to the radio. You open up a newspaper. Most of the news are not so good. So yeah.
So we need a bit of that.
Yeah, summing up sustainability, innovation, and this global teamwork.
Okay, well, we're quite aligned with Provital, especially in the first 2 points. So that's good. And the final question, which guest would you like us to bring here at Provitalks in the near future?
I have to say Monse Laviada. And she was, at some point, she was going to come with me to this episode, but she couldn't come for different reasons. And I think that she would be a really good guest for this program. She's also working on artificial intelligence, but from a different perspective. She's really a creative person. She really is in this case, and she has a different conception that can be complementary to what I brought to the table today.
Okay, perfect.
So AI more for creative projects. That's cool. Yeah.
Of course. We'll try to make it happen then.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, Frankie, thank you very much for answering these quick questions that weren't easy for you, but also mostly for the whole interview, for giving us your professional view and also your personal view even. I'm sure that it's been as interesting for our audience that it's been for us, and they've learned a little bit of this world behind AI. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much again for having me here today. And I hope we can help a little bit to understand better the world of AI.
Of course. And to our audience, as always, thank you for watching us again. get ready for the new season because a lot of new guests will be here in the following episodes. And as always, you can find us on YouTube and also on Spotify. So stay tuned and see you soon.
Thank you for watching and listening to Provitalks. We hope this episode brought you one step closer to imagining and creating the beauty of what's to come. Subscribe to our channel for the next conversation and connect with us anytime at weareprovital.com. Provital. Do care.